Hi, I'm Karen Singville. Today I'm going to teach you how to make homemade cinnamon rolls. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get some kind of yeast. Now the yeast comes in packages, but all that those packages are 2 teaspoons and 1/4. So you want to put it in there into the bottom of your bowl. Now a lot of people say, you know, I can't ever get the yeast right, I don't know how. You need a lukewarm water. So all I do is I run the sink just to get it to where it's lukewarm. You can put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, but I find the best way is just to run the water. So I'm going to do this. So while that water is running, I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar because that will help the yeast formulate quicker. And you're literally only going to use about 1/4 cup just to cover the yeast to get it where it's going to rise. So there's the yeast and the sugar in there. So I'm going to go back over to the sink and I'm going to put in the water to start to get the yeast to activate, okay? So I'll be right back. Anyway, you want to mix it around. Take a spoon and just mix it up. And how you'll know that it's starting to activate is you'll kind of see it bubbling up and it's like it's growing because that's what the yeast does. Okay, that's your very first step of the cinnamon rolls. You want to get some active yeast. This is what it looks like mixed up. Kind of like brown, muddy water. See it? Okay. So that's activating. I'm going to put this on here. Now, a lot of people use regular milk. I like to use almond milk. So I've just got an unsweetened, original, so this is a lower calorie. Not that like cinnamon rolls are low calorie by any means. Forget about that. So I'm going to take this, the butter with it at the same time. So that's probably about 1 cup. Again, I have some measuring cups out here, but I'll just wing it. Put it in the microwave for 45 seconds. So that's what they call scalding the milk. You'll hear people say like you have to scald the milk to make cinnamon rolls. So that's what scalding the milk is. This is the butter that I've cut. So it's probably about 1/4 cube. Okay, that's going to go into the milk. I've got 2 eggs here that I cracked. Now I'm just going to mix those eggs up. You see how bright and orange that these eggs are? You know why they're so bright and orange? Because they're organic, free range. It seems like I just spilled it over the back. Oops. That's pretty typical in this kitchen. Okay, this is done. You know what, I'm going to do it for another 15 seconds. I'm going to put it in for another 15 seconds, so actually it's going to be in for a minute complete. After we do that, I've got about 1 cup of white sugar. You don't have to use that much if you don't want. This butter, I'm going to actually drop into the milk. That'll soften it up. Okay? 3 cups of flour, and I've got an extra 1 cup. Now, sometimes the recipe, you could go up to 5 cups. It just depends. If you get your liquid, like I don't measure my liquid 100% perfect sometimes, so you might need to add a little bit more flour. And that's not a problem because I'll show you the consistency that we're going to get to. And then salt. I don't know if I told you that already. And that's it. Those are the only ingredients for the actual dough of the cinnamon rolls. Now the inside, while I'm waiting, I've got about another same 1/4 cup of butter. So what I did is I took that half, split it in half. This is going to be the inside of the cinnamon roll. So I'm going to melt this down for about maybe 25 seconds in the microwave. Then I've got cinnamon. I've actually got maple syrup vanilla, cane sugar, and brown sugar. Now, I've actually never used cane sugar, but you can use the cane sugar, which is more natural brown sugar, than a brown sugar if you want it less sweet. So, or if you're trying to be calorie conscious, which I'm always trying to be, but it doesn't work out. Okay, so that's soft. Now, the butter's soft down. You can see that, nice and soft. If I was a measuring person, I would probably put 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And then what I do is I put the brown sugar. I just dump it in. But again, if you want to measure, I'd say maybe 1.5 cups. Then I take the maple syrup. Now, I've never used the cane sugar, but I'm excited to use the cane sugar. So I just use just a little bit. I'd say maybe 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. And I'm going to mix that up. And you want to get it a nice consistency so it'll go on the dough really smoothly. Oh yes, it's going to be good. I'm going to put a little bit of the cane sugar. A little bit of the cane sugar. Oh, it's sticky. Very sticky. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, the cane sugar's in there. Mix it up. You see it? So you can have it a little bit, you don't want it too super runny because you want it to stay in the middle of the dough good. So I'm going to add a little bit more maple syrup because it's not quite the consistency I want yet. So that was probably another 1.5 tablespoons. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Okay, and this is what it looks like. See? That's what it looks like. It's going to be awesome. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside. Okay. I've got my yeast good. I'm going to put on this hook. This is the dough hook. Got my brown sugar out of the way. Oh, I want a tad bit of vanilla. I forgot to put that in. I love vanilla. Okay. Wonderful. Oh, smells so good. Okay, and this is going to be Sunday morning. Okay. Now, first thing I do, start mixing this up. The eggs pretty much are lukewarm. Put my sugar in. My butter mixture. I'm going to throw a little bit of the salt in here. If I had to, I'd say it's about 1/2 teaspoon. I don't like a lot of salt and stuff. And then I'm going to start putting this in slowly. Mixing it up. This flour in. Okay, that's all mixed up. I'm going to take my rings off. And you can see that I've just got a granite counter. So I'm just going to flour this a little bit. Now the dough, if it's a little bit sticky, all you do is add a little bit more flour. Okay? Now, I'm going to roll this out. Oh, it's good consistency. Now, if you wanted to bake it right away, you'd preheat the oven to 200 because you got to get these to rise. And just put it in there to rise after you roll it out. So, all I'm going to do now is roll this out into a square. I know you really can't see this from that angle of where the thing is. Sorry, my sleeves are making a mess. Anyway, look this. Put it into just a big rectangle. Now, I took my rolling pin, so I'm just taking a plastic cup like this, and I'm just rolling it out. Literally just rolling it out. Side to side, and up till it's just a huge rectangle. I mean, cinnamon rolls are probably one of the favorite things to eat. People just love to eat them. Just take a little bit more flour it on there, and you can tell I don't care about getting dirty. It's not going to stick to this granite. It's really rolling out nicely. Okay? Now, it doesn't even matter if it's odd shaped. If you want, have one bigger, a little bit smaller, no big deal. Okay. It's all rolled out. Now I'm going to show you this. You see it? That's it rolled out. Okay? Okay, now, my mixture, I just put it on here. I just drop it on. Big drops. This is the center of it. Scoop it all around. So, it doesn't have to be pretty, as long as it's from the heart. It'll be awesome tasting. Get it up, get it all spread out, all over. Really good. This is how I find they come out the best, is if you do the sugar mixture in the center and then let them rise in the fridge, bake them the next morning, to die for. Okay. I'll show you what this looks like in just a second so you know. Okay, here's what it looks like. Does that look good? Maybe move this down so you can see it. You see it? Good. Take the edges like this, over the side like that. Just keep rolling, rolling, slowly, rolling. Tighter, thicker, whatever. Like this. Now, serrated knife, cut off the end. Look at this. Is that beautiful? Oh, so beautiful. Put them in the pan. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I love making cinnamon rolls. They're so good and so easy. So good and so easy. These are going to be big cinnamon rolls too. I'll show you how I'm putting them in the pan in a second. So this should make easily a big dozen. I'm cutting them kind of big right now. I shouldn't be cutting them that big, but I cut them a little bigger than I normally do. It's gonna be great. Okay. This will be plenty for our family. So here's what they look like. Ready to go in the oven. Okay, they're all ready to go in for proofing. They're all ready to go in for proofing. Okay, they're all ready to go in for proofing. So now while the cinnamon rolls are proofing, we're going to make the icing. So the icing includes butter, cream cheese, powdered sugar, which in Canada is called icing sugar, and vanilla. And you can use a little bit of almond milk or regular milk if you want, depending on the consistency. And you might add in a drop of lemon. So what I do is I cut this into, you can see about a quarter cube, the same as I did on the inside for the icing. I just cut this in half. And I just want to make sure that it's soft enough. So what I'm going to do is I am going to microwave it for about maybe 15 seconds. So the butter's softened now. So I'm going to throw that in to my mixer. And you see that I have changed out from the dough hook to the whisk hook. I'm going to take this cream cheese and I'm going to put about half of it into the bowl container, into the mixer. I'm going to start to mix this up and add just a little bit of vanilla. So that was probably about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I am going to add like 2 drops of this lemon because that makes it taste really good. I probably added 4 drops. Now I'm going to start to put the sugar in, but I am going to turn it off because you saw yesterday the flour go everywhere. I don't want to do that again. So just depending on the consistency you want, right now I've got about 2 cups in here. This is where you can add the milk. Once you start to mix it up and see what the consistency is, you can see if you want a little bit thinner, just add some regular milk or almond milk, or people use water if you don't have either. So I'm going to let that mix up. I actually got the consistency without putting any almond milk in where I want it, absolutely perfect. So this is what it looks like. Can you see it? Okay. Now, if you do want it a little bit more runny, so this is what it looks like. You see it's pretty good, solid. Oh, to die for. Delicious, perfect. Now we're going to set that aside till the cinnamon rolls finish proofing. Then we're going to heat the oven to 350 and bake for like 25 to 30 minutes, but you need to keep a watch on it, okay? Okay, they're ready in the oven. So now we gotta let them cool. This is what they look like. Yum. Frosting here. We're gonna let those cool down for probably about 10 minutes. Then we're gonna frost them and then we're gonna have breakfast. This is what the finished product looks like. You see the extra goo? And we're just frosting now. You see how rich and thick it is? And then we take the bottom of that and it's kind of caramelized, and enjoy. Thanks for stopping by. See you again in the kitchen. Take care. And there's here's what the rest of them look like finished. Hope you enjoy. Take care.